Hey y'all, welcome back to Roads Less Traveled. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing this Trax cell camera from Cuddeback. Alright guys, so Cuddeback has been one of the big names in the trail camera industry for years and years and years. Interestingly enough, I have never owned a Cuddeback camera. This is the very first one. Now I've wanted to get my hands on one for quite a while. I just have not pulled the trigger. Recently, Cuddeback was running a promotion where if you buy 1 year's worth of data, they would send you one of these Cuddeback Trax cell cameras for free. I thought that was a great deal and it's too good to pass up. I'm going to pay for data plans anyway. I might as well go ahead and get one of these cameras for free while I had the chance. Unfortunately, by the time this camera came in and I got ready to shoot this video, I went back on their website and I can no longer find that promotion. So you might have missed your chance. However, Cuddeback does run similar type promotions occasionally. So keep your eye out on their website and you might get lucky and be able to pick up one of these for free with a data plan, or sometimes if you purchase another camera, you get one of these for free. So the Trax line of cameras by Cuddeback is not their CuddeLink system that uses kind of like a hub and multiple little satellite cameras, and that allows you to get by with just one data plan for multiple cameras. The Trax system, each camera needs their own data plan. They do have several different camera models available in the Trax lineup. This is the LTC-0A, and it is the black and white version. So this camera will take black and white pictures during the day and at night. That's just the camera model that they give away for free typically when they run these promotions, but the camera should function the exact same way as their other camera models, including the Trax Infrared and the Trax Black Flash. Speaking of data plans for these cameras, there are several different options. There are monthly plans, which I typically use. Their bronze plan gives you 500 full-size images per month for $8. And then for extra images, if you fill that up, it's $6 per every 500. $13 for 2,500 images on their silver plan. And their gold plan is $20 a month for unlimited images. They also have a pay-as-you-go data plan, which is interesting to me. I've never used a pay-as-you-go data plan, but basically the way that works is it's $4 per month per camera, no matter what. That's your base fee, and then $10 per month on top of that for every 1,000 full-size images that you use. The base $4 per month plan includes 100 starter images, and then once you go past that 400 images, then you'll be charged $10 per every 1,000. The big benefit here is that data plan is shared among all of your Trax cameras. So for instance, if you have 4 of these Trax cameras and you buy this plan, it's $4 for all of them. And then once you get a combined 100 pictures, then you're going to pay $10 per month for every 1,000 beyond that. So it's conceivable that you could have 4 cameras, and if you're running these cameras in low density areas or not high traffic areas, then $14, 1,100 pictures may get you through an entire month for those 4 cameras. So I just want to hit on a few of the highlights on the box that kind of set this camera apart or make it a little bit different from other cameras on the market. It is a dual SIM camera, which is becoming a common thing. It runs off of Verizon and AT&T network, and it's going to pick which data service provider is best for your area. It actually has 2 antennas. It has a 1/4 second trigger speed. Something that really piqued my interest about this camera is that it actually uses 4 D-cell batteries instead of AA's like most every other camera on the market. The reason they say they use the D-cell batteries is that they just last longer. We're going to hopefully see that when we use this camera in the field. Hopefully this camera can last for a whole season, but we'll see, in the long-term duration. As far as the warranty, it's got a 1-year standard warranty and 2-year with product registration. And it also says this camera is designed in the USA. It does not say built or assembled in the USA, but we'll take what we can get. All right, guys, let's get this thing opened up and let's see what's in the box. All right, so first off, we got our 2 antennas, and I gotta say, man, those things are pretty beefy. I don't know how that's going to impact the cellular, signal, but those are some pretty big antennas. Got our camera here. There's a few intriguing things I'll notice right off the bat. We'll look at that in more detail in just a second. We have a strap, which is pretty unique compared to what I'm used to. It's actually kind of got like a D-ring on one side and this little clip that you thread your tag in through, and it just hooks on that D-ring. That's a unique attachment method. The strap, I'm noticing, is not very long. It's only a couple foot diameter tree there, shorter than most on the market. Shouldn't be a deal breaker, but just keep that in mind. You're probably not going to be able to get this strap around a large tree. You're either going to need to get a different strap or pick out a smaller tree. I'm not exactly sure what that is. We'll look at that in more detail in just a second. We've got an owner's manual and a Cuddeback sticker. Okay, so interestingly enough, this little piece here is a mounting bracket. Looks like you could actually screw this to a tree or a post, and the camera slides onto it just like that. You could also thread your strap through this bracket and get it all lined up, and then, slide your camera on it. There's also, just some holes in the side of the camera here that you could probably thread the strap through. But I don't think I would recommend that, just because this little narrow piece here is going to be really wobbly on the tree. So it looks like I definitely would recommend using this bracket, either screwing it in place or using the included strap. The camera actually opens multiple different ways. Looks like you have 2 latches on the left-hand side of the camera. If we pop those open, that back tray pivots, and that's where your D-cell batteries will go. Interesting. We'll close that back up. And then our door on the side here, on the other side there's a latch at the bottom. You can pop that open and open up to see the interior. This camera does take just a standard size SD card, and it does not come with it. There's this little door that slides up, and you can slide your SD card in. Make sure you're using a good high quality SD card that has been formatted. That's the biggest thing with these cell cameras. You've got to have a good SD card with a good read-write speed. Otherwise, you're going to have some issues with uploading pictures to the network. On the bottom here, we got this little plastic piece that just slides right out, and that's going to be where you would install external power if you have a solar panel or something of that nature. Pretty much it on just the overview of this thing. I've got to go get some D batteries. They're not a type of battery that I keep around the house. Fortunately, I don't have any, so I've got to go track down some D batteries at the store. I'm also going to get a SD card freshly formatted and ready to go, and then we'll get this thing synced up to our account, which I've already created because I had to create the account, sign up for my data plan before they would send me this free camera. All right, guys, I finally got some batteries for our Trax camera here. We're going to first off go ahead and get them suckers installed. All right, we've got our 4D batteries in there. I'm going to close up the battery tray. I've got to get my freshly formatted, high-speed, high-quality SD card installed. I'm using SanDisk Extreme. Interestingly enough, when I opened the camera up, the screen is already on. So it looks like as soon as you put batteries in there, this sucker comes on. Speaking of which, I don't even see a power button on this camera. So I guess what that means is that if there's batteries in this camera, it's going to be on. So if you're not using it, you might want to just remove the batteries so you're not running them dead. That's interesting. We're going to slide this little door up here. I'm going to get my SD card out and installed. We need to get this camera linked up to our app. So I've already downloaded the app. It was pretty easy. I just went to the app store, searched for Cuddeback. It popped up and I was able to quickly download it to my phone. I've also already set up an account because I had to do that in order to purchase the data plan to get this free camera. So I've already signed in. I should be ready to go with the app here. On our Cuddeback here, the tracks, it says to press up. I'm just gonna go ahead and press up. Let's see. It wants me to set the time, which I figured this should all pretty much set itself whenever we connect to our... I'm not going to worry about setting any of the settings up manually on here first. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add this device to our account, and I think we're going to be able to do it all from here. So as we go to add device, you can scroll through, we can see the different types. There we go. We want to add the tracks. So there's a QR code on the inside of the door. We're going to say got it. We're going to allow it access to our camera. I'm going to scan that code. It'll focus. Okay. So we're going to add a name. I'm just going to call it Tracks 1. Add. So in a normal scenario, that's how you would add your camera. However, I've already paid for a data plan. I've got to figure out how to add this camera and apply that data plan. It was actually wanting me to purchase another plan, which is not what I want to do. So give me a second and let's figure this out. All right, guys, I got my data plan situation figured out. I contacted Cuddeback support, and all I had to do is apply it to this camera in the app. So now that I'm in the app and my camera has a data plan, we can verify that by going into Accounts, and then Photo Plans, and then Device Data Plans. Here we can see my camera and all of its information, along with the data used. And if you click Manage Data Plan, we can see which plan we have. I have the silver plan for the unlimited images, and we see all our payment information and all of that type of stuff. So my camera, I put the batteries in it right before I click record on here, and it has already, looks like, connected to the network, and we're in dwell mode, so it's kind of waiting for us to walk away to be active. The camera actually is showing that it is triggering and taking images, so hopefully those will start showing up in our app here in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get this camera on this tree. We're just going to be looking at this little trail. It tends to be some game come down through here. Hopefully we can get some deer, maybe some other critters. We'll leave this thing out for a week or so and see what we get. I will note on this strap, I figured out that when you put the little clip piece on, you want the hook to be out. If the hook is in, it will not grab your strap and it's not going to stay tight against the tree. So hook out, and then you can hook into your little D-clip ring there. And the great thing about this too is you can actually attach this to the tree without the camera on it and then slide the camera on after. But really, in order to aim it appropriately, you kind of need the camera on the actual mount itself. See, that looks about right. I'm going to do the old cell phone selfie mode trick here. Okay. And I'm going to come back this way just a hair. It looks about perfect. All right, y'all. Our Cuddeback Trax camera has been out for about 2 weeks, and it's taken a lot of pictures and videos. I think it's time to kind of go over some more details and talk about this thing. But before we really get into it, I wanted to just pull it off of here and run back through the menu setup on this camera. I realized belatedly, after the issues I was having on getting this thing set up on my account, that I didn't go over the menu settings. So I think it's very important on this particular camera because it is different than a lot of other cameras on the market. Flashback to when I was having those account issues, I was able to get a hold of Cuddeback support directly. They were able to add that plan to my account, and then once that happened, the camera connected to the network and synced up, and everything was good to go. So I appreciate Cuddeback for getting that taken care of quickly for me. So just real quick, let's pop this thing open. I'll come around behind the camera and we'll go over the menu navigation and settings on this camera really quickly. So first off, you'll notice right now it is flashing, and it just said trigger image, and then dwell means it's waiting to take the next picture, and then it's going to say that it's uploading that picture. So as it's doing all this stuff, it's giving you the live reading on this screen, which is interesting because I figured the screen would go to sleep. Now granted, I'm sure this little basic LCD screen here isn't taking much battery power, I would think that it would consume less if it didn't show that all the time. But we're just going to go on into mode. It says our battery status is okay. On mode, you'll see there's a little flashing bar at the top of the screen there. That shows you which menu setting you're in. So right now we're on the clock menu setting, and you can see it's 9:38 a.m. If we wanted to adjust that, there's our date, time and date. Hit mode to go in between. If you wanted to adjust them, you would just click the up arrow, and then you could cycle the time. We could go to 11. We're gonna go back to 9. We'll click more to go to minutes, more to exit. We wanted to, dang it. We wanted to adjust the date. We'll just click more to go to the date, and then we could key up to adjust each one of those in turn. Now, if we go to mode, we're gonna go to the next menu setting, which is your different tests. So right now we're doing a motion test. It's going to just flash a little light up here on this deal to show that it is sensing our movement. If we thumb through those menus using the more icon, we can see all the other tests. So we could run a cell test. We could reset our device. Our battery status is okay. We could do a battery test, a flash test, SD card test, an image test, and it says success. So I guess everything was good to go. Hit mode to go to our next. It says battery status is okay. I think it just shows that periodically when you're using it. We could clear our SD card. We could access our cell menu, our image menu. There's another menu, device menu. Success means we made it through that menu. Mode to get into settings. Right now we're in easy mode. There's all different kinds of modes. I've left it on easy because honestly, this camera's a little bit confusing to navigate these different settings. Easy mode has been working out well for me. Delay is on auto. That's your, between pictures. And success, we made it through that menu. Okay, arm. This is where when you're done messing with the camera and you're ready for it to start taking pictures, you're going to tell it to arm. And as you can see me just sitting there, it went into dwell, which means that it's waiting to take its first picture. So we could see our SD images. This camera has taken 256 images. We have 30 gigs of SD card free. Motion test. Now arming, dwell. And when you want to turn this camera off, you click mode over to off mode. You go to more, and then it turns it off. All right, y'all, I hope you were able to follow that. Honestly, it's a little bit difficult and frustrating to navigate through those menu icons on the camera itself. It's just, I don't know, kind of clunky, but it does work. And this camera, essentially, all it needs to do is take pictures. We can take a look at those within our app. So the very first section on our app here is photos. We can click on that and go into the pictures. You can see the most recent are of me on the four-wheeler. But we've also got some deer. We can click on those, zoom in and see that's a little buck. Like I said, this picture's taken a lot. This camera has taken a lot of pictures. And since it's black and white, it's not readily obvious just from looking if it's a daytime or nighttime pictures. You can see these up here nighttime pictures are taken at 9:11 p.m. and 1:35 a.m. But if we scroll down, here's a daytime picture at 7:48. It's still black and white. It's still kind of dark. It's just a little bit lighter, so you can tell quickly it was during the daytime. Overall, this camera's been working really well. Looky there, I didn't even notice that. We got a brand new fawn on 6/4. So just the other day, I've been watching this mama doe for a while. I knew she was going to bust, and she finally did. Hopefully the fawn makes it. It looks healthy, so that is a great thing to see. But overall, there's not a whole lot to look at within the app as far as pictures go. I mean, it's just going to send you pictures. They're decent enough quality to tell what the deer is, and that's all you really need. I will say that the camera seems like it does send pictures, all the pictures successfully. When we pull the SD card, we'll be able to tell if we're missing any, but I kind of doubt it. I think that Cuddeback at least had the hardware side of things figured out. Let's go back, and I just want to run through this app a little bit because honestly, the app, kind of like the menu on the camera, it's a little bit clunky. It's not quite as user friendly as some of the others I've used. So we just went through the photos tab. If we go to reports, this is going to show us information about our camera. And as you can see, it's just kind of a very basic menu. You can see at the top, if you have multiple cameras, you can swap between them. I named this camera Trax 1. But interestingly enough, if you look down the menu below, it says this is an unnamed device, even though in the drop-down menu it says Trax 1, which is weird. We have 251 pictures on our SD card. Our battery's okay. Looks like it's been running for 9 days. It's active, it's connected. Overview tab, again, unnamed device. But if you look at the menu up here, it's Trax 1. It is connected. We can see our health information. Our network is optimal. A bunch of other information there that you really probably don't need to see. Alerts, and there are no alerts now. If we had seen pictures or cell data issues, it would be there. So we'll go back. Let's go into our settings. This is a little bit confusing to me, how to actually adjust the settings within this app. I've just left it on easy mode because honestly, diving into them has been a little bit difficult. I mean, essentially all it does is take pictures anyway. As long as it's taking pictures and send them to me, I'm happy. But there are no settings there. It may be because I turned the camera off, but you'd think that it would still show the last settings the camera had. There are other things in this app. There's a crystal ball, which is just going to show you, your hunting times, your, morning, midday, moon chart stuff. There's no trends data. It crashed when I clicked priority. We could pause the camera to suspend it so it doesn't take pictures. Say if you're running on a not unlimited data plan and you say, hey, I don't want to take pictures between these times, you could do that. And then down at the bottom, you can see we could add a device, register products, and account, and help. That's pretty much all I'm gonna get into in the app, but I think you'll probably get the picture. The app is really not perfect, and it could be more user-friendly and more useful. All right, guys, so next thing I want to do is I want to pull this camera down. I'm going to take it inside, put the SD card in a computer, and show you some sample pictures from this camera. Then we'll come back and we'll really break down pros and cons and tell you what I think. All right, y'all, there you have it. You've seen this Cuddeback Trax camera in action. You've seen it unboxed. You've seen it set up. You've seen the app. You've seen everything that you can see. So now is the time to discuss it and talk about what I like, what I don't like, and get y'all's feedback. First off, I didn't have a great experience getting this camera set up to begin with, and a lot of that is because I purchased a promo camera where I bought the data plan up front and they sent me a free camera. Then by the time I actually got the camera in, the promo was over. So for some reason, it didn't want to add that data plan to the camera when I added it to the app. Luckily, I was able to contact Cuddeback support and they got me all sorted away within a few days. It would have been nice if it would have been same day service, but unfortunately I was working on this video over a holiday weekend and there was just simply nobody in office to take care of me. However, the first business day they were back in office, they got it sorted away and I was able to get this camera out and get it working pretty painlessly. I had a little bit of issues getting it to actually sync up and start working, but after fiddling with it for a little bit, it finally did work. On that same note, the actual physical screen on this camera and the way you navigate the menu is a little bit frustrating. Just the way the navigation works, the different prompts, it's not very intuitive. It took me a little while to kind of understand what I was doing, getting through there, but once you figure it out, it is pretty simple. It's just a little bit clunkier than most cameras out there. I've got to admit, the app is not my favorite cell camera app out there. It's just a little bit hard to navigate. Again, it's not very intuitive. However, I do feel like it functions fine. There's some bugs in there where it says your camera is unnamed or unidentified camera, when at the top it tells you which camera you're looking at. I don't know, it's just a little bit clunky of feel, and I kind of expected more from a camera brand that's been around since pretty much the beginning. This particular camera that I reviewed, since it was a free camera as part of the promo, is black and white only. If I was going to purchase one of these, I probably would purchase one of the other options, whether it was the black flash or just infrared camera option. The black and white, while it's fine, it can be a little bit confusing when you're quickly going through your gallery, whether the picture was taken in the day or at night. That being said, you're still getting the same information. It's just a little bit, doesn't quite look quite as good as it could. That being said, the photo resolution is fine. It's plenty good enough for what I need. I mean, let's face it, all we really need a trail camera to do is let us know what is there. Is it a big buck? Is it a small buck? Is it a doe? That's what we really need from trail cameras. So let's talk about the pros. What are you getting when you purchase this camera? Well, first off, you're getting the name Cuddeback. You're getting that name recognition. It's, you know, they're a company that's been around for forever. They're known to make quality products. Speaking of quality, I do feel like this is a quality product. I think that once you get past, you know, the clunky app, the bugs, maybe getting everything set up, I think you're going to have a product that's just going to work. And at the end of the day, that's all you really need. All right, so would I buy this again without the promo? Probably not. I mean, I don't know if I could justify $70 to $100 for a camera and then have to pay for the data plan on top of that, especially since this camera does not take videos. I've come to really rely on videos. You can just get so much more information than you can from a picture on its own. Since I was able to get that unlimited data plan with this camera, I'm definitely going to use it all for the next 12 months, and I'm gonna try to get as many pictures as I can. I'm probably gonna put this camera over bait piles, things like that. That way I can conserve my data plan from other cameras that may use more data. But if I had to do it again, I probably would invest that money somewhere else. I think that Cuddeback's real niche in today's market is probably going to be their link system. Just the way that system set up with cameras and a hub, and they all share the same data plan. That's probably what they're best at. And if you're going to go with Cuddeback, that's probably what their niche is now and what I would go to them for. The Trax line of cameras, while I think they're going to be reliable, they're going to be good, they're going to work for you, they're simply other cameras on the market that offer more features for the same price point. That's going to be it for this one, guys. You stuck around this long, hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these cameras, and if you would purchase them, or if you've had them, what your experience has been. I hope you all have a blessed day, and remember, take the roads less traveled. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.